Hey there, YTPC. It's your boy Cosmo, Cat Dad Piper. Just sitting out on the deck, watching some videos on a Saturday afternoon. And thought I'd do a little smoke with me session. Now, this is my take 3 because of all the background noises, so we're just going to deal with it this time. I'm mic'd up. Hopefully you can still hear me. But go grab a bowl if you haven't already. And this is going to be a bit of a tobacco tasting as well. So I have my Yves St. Claude French Connection. And in it, I am smoking one of my new tobaccos, Cornell and Diehl Bijou. It's part of what they call their Cellar series. It's mostly Virginia, bright Virginia, with Orientals, and then topped with honey. It's packed and then cut into flake, so it's a nice chunky flake. Rubs out easy if you choose to rub it. Let me give this a little tamp and a relight. Tin note, very nice. It's sweet. Definitely smell Virginias. Not a whole lot of the Oriental. You do get the honey first and foremost, but it's sweet, but it's also rich for honey. So I would want to guess that they probably use a pretty decent grade honey. Not something that's, $1 a bottle at the grocery store type stuff. Let me give it a relight. I'm drinking some of my Coke Zero. This is the dark roast one with coffee. So on the initial light, the char light, you do get that initial punch of honey, which I'm a honey fanatic, so I find it quite delicious. And you do get a nice medium to full body on the smoke. For me, the strongest flavor, though, is just that little bit of honey. It really comes through. I would say you get the Orientals. In the Retro Hail, you get some spice. Now they say you can cellar this, and although it is already aged Virginia leaf they use, they do say on the label that the peak is 10 to 15 years. So at some point I'll be buying a couple tins of this to cellar and store away. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying this very much. It's honey, it's sweet, but it's not sweet like a lot of aromatics. But this is a bit of a unique tobacco. I found this last night when I had it for the first time. This is somehow a tobacco that when you exhale and the smoke comes out of your mouth, I feel like you get the actual room note. Yeah, you do. You get that. It's It's that honey again. I keep going back to it, even though they say it's just a hint. But then you get this wonderful tobacco smell. And that leads me to my next point. Part of the reason I'm doing this as a share a pipe video is because the room note that I get when I exhale it takes me back to my earliest smell of, or earliest memory rather, of the smell of pipe tobacco. So, when I was younger, we had neighbors that lived across the street. They weren't as old as I thought they were, because the wife is still alive, still doing well. So keep in mind that this was probably 30 plus years ago. They were probably in their 50s. And you'd go over to her house. It was a split level house. There was a family room in the lower level. But then below that there was kind of a cellar or basement area. And the husband was a daily smoker. I believe he smoked pipe. I know for a fact he smoked cigar. But he did it on a regular enough basis indoors within the house that you'd walk in the house and be filled with this like rich, aromatic, beautiful tobacco aroma. It was not offensive. It's like when you walk into a good tobacconist and you smell all the tobacco. And at one point, when I was younger, the husband, he passed away. And she stayed around for several years after, until she decided to move to Colorado to be with her daughter and her grandchildren. But I remember my dad and I going over there and helping pack up some of his stuff. I don't remember seeing any of his pipes, but I do remember that smell, especially in the lower level. And I remember going to his lower workshop area in the basement where he had a lot of his things. And I don't know if I discovered them first or my dad did, but we found like probably a couple boxes of old issues of Playboy magazine. Now at the time I was probably 10 at the absolute oldest, probably younger. And although my dad didn't necessarily let me look at them, I definitely saw some things. And I was too young to get the point of the magazine, I guess I'd say. I imagine we probably tossed those, but they probably would have been worth something because they were older issues. So probably, I don't know how long they've been around, but probably, we're from the 60s. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is with this is when I exhale, and I smell that smoke, I smell the sweet tobaccos, I smell that little bit of honey. To me, it smells exactly like that house. I remember going over there and she would bake cookies, and sometimes I'd go over there after school for a couple hours until my mom got home from work. My dad worked second shift oftentimes. And while I don't have a ton of memories of them, I remember her very well. More than I remember Jay, that was his name. And I just remember the rooms in the house and the furniture and the carpet. And I think I went there maybe one time before school started for just a little bit till the bus came. I remember watching reruns of Howdy Doody and Bozo the Clown. I think that's one of the appeal of pipe smoking and pipe tobacco. The smell just, it brings back memories, fond memories. Versus something like a cigarette where you don't really enjoy the smell and it brings back bad memories. This brings back fondness of times gone by and the friends and family that have come before us. And if you haven't tried Bijou, and it sounds like something you might be interested in, and don't let the number of times I said the word honey scare you, I recommend picking it up. Cornell and Diehl always does pretty quality tobacco. They're probably average price or slightly below the average. And it's readily available. So, let me know. Leave a comment in the video. What are you smoking with me? And what are you having it in? And if you're catching this shortly after I post it, or whenever you see this, let me know what your plans are for the weekend. For me, smoking buddy Matt is coming over later tonight after the Iowa game. Eagle Talon Piper. He'll be joining us. I'll be sharing my new tobaccos. Might try a new one of Eagle Talons. Just kind of enjoy the last Saturday of summer. And then tomorrow, meet up with my friend and crochet coach for some coffee and crochet. And with any luck, finish up my next project. Other than that, I've been doing well. Been stressed about finances and seems like that's a never-ending battle, but other than that, I'm doing good. My oldest, Marty, who knew Sadie since he was, I think maybe 8 weeks old, 9 weeks old. He's been a little bit more cuddly since Sadie passed, which I think he's doing alright, but you can tell that maybe he misses her a little bit. Just, he likes to come lay on the extra pillow beside me and get some petting, get some loving. Stayed in bed a little extra this morning because he wanted to have some time with Daddy. I certainly had no objections to that. I still have a little bit of time left on this pipe. I have a hard time just sitting here without a whole lot to say like onion. And he does a great job of it, and I wish I had that ability, but anyways, I guess I'll leave it at that. Hope you enjoyed your pipe. Hope you have a great weekend or whenever it is that you find this. As always, thanks for watching. God bless, and we'll see you soon.